Have you ever taken a deep moment to reflect on what it truly means to be tired? We often hear expressions like, "I'm exhausted, I can't take it anymore, I feel completely drained." But is the fatigue you're experiencing authentic? Or is it in fact a sign that your brain has never truly been challenged? We live in an era where the fast pace of life and constant distractions create confusion between what is real effort and what is merely a superficial passing of time. The truth is that most of the time our minds are underutilized, anesthetized, trapped in a vicious cycle of superficiality and distraction. And it is precisely this shallow way of using the mind that generates a different kind of fatigue. An empty fatigue, which brings with it neither the sense of accomplishment nor the certainty of personal growth. When you say you are tired, what image comes to mind? Perhaps you envision a heavy body, an overloaded head, energy drained after a long day. But how many really stop to think, how am I using my brain? Am I truly reflecting, creating, questioning, or merely reacting on autopilot? Our brains are powerful organs, capable of incredible feats when stimulated deeply and intentionally. However, they are also lazy and instinctively seek the easiest path to conserve energy. And currently, that easiest path is what most choose. Mindlessly scrolling through social media, consuming information passively, distractedly replying to messages, hopping from one task to another without delivering the necessary attention. This existence in automatic mode induces mental exhaustion that has nothing to do with actual cognitive effort. It's wear and tear caused by an excess of superficial stimuli that do not demand creativity, analysis, or depth. You are not truly producing, you are merely keeping the machine running. Moreover, the routine you have constructed for yourself contributes to this invisible prison. This routine is comfortable precisely because it requires little from the mind. Get up, have coffee, work with scattered attention, return home, consume something that doesn't require mental effort, sleep, and repeat it all again. But this comfort is deceptive. It limits your capacity for critical thinking, personal development, and a true sense of being alive. Real fatigue arises when the brain is challenged to step out of its comfort zone, to seek solutions, to create, to question the world and itself. It is the kind of fatigue that brings satisfaction because it means you have used your mind fully, expanded your limits, and made progress in your personal journey. Therefore, the next time you feel tired, ask yourself, am I drained because I truly challenged myself, or because I settled into a routine of superficiality? Are you merely going through the days, or are you genuinely living? Challenge your mind. Step out of the automatic. Allow yourself to think deeply, reflect, question, learn. An active, restless, and dedicated mind is the key to a vibrant life, full of purpose and meaning. Genuine fatigue is not an enemy. It is a sign that you are growing and evolving. When the brain is fed only with fleeting information and repetitive activities, it becomes bored and responds with fatigue. This fatigue is not a result of effort, but rather the absence of it. The human mind needs challenges, difficult questions, moments to reflect deeply, and space to create rather than just consume. The exhaustion you feel may be a sign that your mind is craving something more, something that stirs your essence, and not just your clock or your to-do list. So, what does it mean to truly use the brain? It means applying your capacity for attention, concentration, analysis, and creativity consciously and intentionally. It's not about responding to emails on autopilot or being swept away by the avalanche of incessant notifications. Using the mind truly means thinking deeply about your goals, values, and beliefs. It means questioning what you accept without reflection, seeking to understand the reasons behind your choices. It's exercising curiosity and critical thinking, opening yourself to new ideas and learnings. When you dedicate yourself to this, your brain moves, expands, and strengthens. And yes, this requires effort. It may lead to fatigue, but it's a different kind of fatigue, accompanied by a feeling of accomplishment and growth. It's the healthy fatigue of someone who has spent an entire day building something that truly matters. On the other hand, the price of not using the mind deeply is high. Beyond empty fatigue comes a constant sense of dissatisfaction, frustration, and the impression that life is passing by without you achieving something meaningful. This weariness comes from living on autopilot. Like a spectator of your own existence, this pattern can lead to a condition known as mental fatigue, in which the brain is overloaded by stimuli and information, yet not engaged in cognitive processes that make sense. It's the syndrome of being busy-minded but unproductive, and when this happens, you feel fatigue, demotivation, and even anxiety, because your brain senses the lack of true challenge, the opportunity to be active and creative. Awakening the brain for real work starts with small conscious decisions. First, slow down. Give your mind a break, not to dive into more distractions, but to reflect. Silence the external noise. Turn off notifications. Step away from the constant flow of information bombarding your attention. Then, challenge yourself to think more deeply. Instead of passively accepting everything, question, research, form your own opinions. Set aside time to read books, write, meditate, engage in dialogue with people who think differently than you. Another essential point is to cultivate mindfulness. Be truly present in what you do without dividing your focus among multiple stimuli. This increases your capacity for concentration and enables your brain to work with quality. It's also important to accept that thinking requires effort and that this effort is valuable. Don't fear the fatigue that comes from intense mental use. This fatigue is different from empty exhaustion. It is the mark of someone who is alive, learning, and growing. When your brain is genuinely working, fatigue is a positive sign. It indicates that you are on the right path, investing energy into something that brings value to you and the world. It's the fatigue of creators, thinkers, those who dare to step out of the ordinary to build a life of meaning. It's a fatigue that accompanies progress, not stagnation. So the next time you feel the urge to say, "I'm tired," stop and ask yourself, is this fatigue the result of real effort, or is it merely a reflection of an anesthetized brain? Are you perhaps not using your mind for what it is truly capable of? You can choose to transform this empty fatigue into a vital fatigue, one that comes from deep work, genuine reflection, and conscious creation. Your brain was made to work for real. And when that happens, you will not only feel tired, you will feel that you have truly lived. Do not settle for merely existing. Use your mind, awaken your consciousness, challenge yourself to think. Only then will fatigue be a sign of a life fully lived, not the weight of a faded existence.